Jason, shred it. Just don't stop. Just keep going. Just shred. Oh my god. There it is. That's an entrance. Oh yeah. Count those fingers. Ooh. Woo! Everybody, welcome Jason. Come on. So you started playing the guitar at what age? When did you start playing?
I started taking it seriously when actually consistently practicing and learning songs and focusing on it when I was 12. I just saw my dad's in here. He just popped up. Royster Twitch is my dad. He's in the chat right now. Yeah, I got a Gothic Black Gibson Les Paul for Christmas when I was 12. It's still a Gibson. It's still a great guitar. We still have it at their house somewhere. But it was like, it wasn't like some crazy super fancy, like, you know, like Gold Top or like Flame Burst where they go for like 10K at Guitar Center or something like that. But it was still sick as fuck, and I played the shit out of it. So much so I would play with my shirt off and it like rubbed all the paint off right here. So you can just see like exposed wood grain from just me rubbing up against it and playing it so much. I got my first 7-string right before I turned 15, I think. And that's another guitar that's still at my parents' house. And I saved up for a year to get $1,735.
What guitar was that?
It was a Music Man JP7, just the regular one with like the forearm scoop. The Pearl Redburst was the color. And then I played it for 10 hours, and my dad paid tax. I saved up $1,735, and then he paid tax for me. And then I literally remember just screaming, opening the case, and then I went and learned This Dying Soul, which is off the second song off Train of Thought. That crazy batshit minute-long shred at the end of it. That's the primary thing I wanted to be able to play, was that ending of that song.
Now that's really cool, and especially saving up that money, right? I mean, I remember saving up money for a guitar as well. The first 7-string I bought was an RG 7620. I think I bought it in 1998, 99, around something like that. I think it was £900, so it was about, I don't know, 1,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
For $1,500 maybe for it. Yeah. Funny enough, I don't even like that guitar very much. The neck was too thick. What's your main kind of lead tone? You have a delay. Can we have a listen to what's some of your favorite lead tones that you have on your patches? And
so I pretty much just use the same one for every song. All That Remains and my solo stuff. That's this one. Let me see. What could I play? So it's got a little bit of you should be hearing it stereo. I hope it's coming in stereo, but I think it goes maybe back and forth a little bit too.
Yeah.
But even on the album though, when I'm actually doing everything in Pro Tools, because I just track DI into my or into Pro Tools. I have another interface down here that tracks that or gets that in the computer, and then I just monitor my actual playing with the Axe effects while I'm tracking, because there's no latency.
Yeah.
So I can keep my buffer set, ignorantly high to use as many plugins as possible. And when I'm actually playing it all, I'm not hearing it 2 seconds later. So that's one of my favorite reasons. Yeah, that's one of my favorite reasons for this, is because you can just play. You can just hear it. You just monitor the input in your hardware mixer on the interface. So it's not actually coming through the DAW at all, the signal that you're hearing. And then I just take that DI and dump it onto my track. And then I'll get I've been getting pretty bizarre with delays and reverbs and stuff that I'm using now with the lead tones. They'll be bouncing back and forth, panning all over the place. The guitar will be centered, and then the delay is stereo. I've been trying to get pretty weird with it, and I realized though that when I do my next solo tour, I'm gonna definitely have to try and recreate some of that within the Axe effects, so that way it's a little bit closer to normal. But sometimes if it's an actual part, kind of because I have a couple chunks and songs where everything drops out, then the delay will go for a second, but repeat on a quarter note kind of cadence. So stuff like that, I'll just put on the tracks, because it's actually 100% supposed to be the same thing every single night. So there's in Tendonitis, I have a song called Tendonitis, which is actually, if you haven't heard that, or chat, if none of you guys have heard that song and you want to hear the plugin, that's the mix on that song is my signature plugin, the Joey Sturgis one that we made. The tone, or Taylor Larson, dude who mixed my album, he made the tone, but it's based off the tone that he got from my actual full-length album. So then when Tendonitis came out, we used the plugin on that one. If anybody wants to go check what it actually sounds like out in a mix, it sounds pretty sick.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you for all that. Very informative, actually educational as well. How you're doing your sound without having the latency when you're recording. That's I haven't heard someone do that before, and that's really cool.
Like this is like everyone. A lot of times too, like people always ask me about like my action, and I try to keep it like medium to kind of higher. I don't really like low. I don't know about you, but I feel like if it's too low, it just makes the guitar sound like crap, and pinch harmonics are impossible.
Yeah. You need the string to have the room to vibrate. And I do a little whammy bar. If the action is too low, you just keep choking on the bar. You know, this just...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You do crazy shit with your whammy bar, like pick the guitar up by it. I'm almost terrified to do that. Like, have you ever had any disasters happen from that?
I wouldn't say it's a disaster, but recently we have hit the roof twice here, kicking the guitar, just playing the songs. We hit the bass player once and he was bleeding on the nose. I had a massive bruise once because I kicked it badly. I kicked one of the Abasi and he came back and hit me in the balls on the tour. That
Fair.
was so the bass, the way the shape is. So I took one of Tosin's six string, like
they're
that
kind
guitar.
They're bizarre. They're bizarrely shaped, but they work. It's very like ergonomic, especially when you're sitting down.
Yeah, but standing up and it's pretty light, right? The six-string version. I give it like a flying knee, and I'm supposed to catch it back. But the way the shape is, it kind of went back and kind of hit me in the balls. So that was a different kind of experience. We had it actually on Twitch live on the stream. It happened. It's like, oh,
I'm sure that got clipped immediately. It's somewhere forever in the internet now.
Yeah.
That's another thing I always try to like stay conscious of too. I've noticed, like if I'm trying to play like fast, like especially if I'm out of practice, I'll start like shaking the guitar some, and then everything just starts to get a little bit sloppier. But then if I like consciously try and focus on like, all right, don't do that, then everything just becomes cleaner because the guitar isn't like rocking around all over the place.
Yeah, there's that center, right, when it comes to perfect technique where you don't move and you concentrate just on that, and then you get into the more mellow, more into the rock and roll, the 80s shredders where you're just doing crazy stuff on stage, you know, and you lose some techniques, right, because you're off the center, you know, of where it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of like, I've never been one to like, I used to move around a shitload. Like I used to try and get like as low as I possibly could while headbanging, and it's ended up backfiring on me now, like 15 years later from when I was doing that, like when I first started touring and playing in local bands and stuff. And it got to the point where like my left quad and glute were bigger than my right side just from headbanging so much. And it added up over like the first like few years of touring, and to the point where like my back started hurting a little bit, and then I went and got like x-rays and all this stuff, and I had like a slight difference in the elevation of my hips just straight because of muscle. It was bigger on that side. Yeah, exactly. And like now, here we are later, and then I just moved and been touring and like practicing classical with my left foot up all the time, and then ego riser is getting it up even higher, getting in that same position but standing, and now it's added up even more, and now I have a 8-degree tilt in my pelvis right now. That's still fixable though. So, but yeah, just remember the stretch, guys. That's pretty much it. Just stretch, do yoga, try to counteract the do the same thing but on your right side if you can, just so you don't get uneven. Sucks. I hate having to deal with it right now. Getting old is stupid.
You know, one thing we lack on this channel is some sexiness. Can you play anything sexy to make us look cool for a second, like shredders? Like, otherwise, something on the piano. I don't know. Can you play any sexy on the piano?
I know. I only know like a handful of things that I just always cycle.
There we go. We're bringing some sexiness to this channel. We never have any.
You might recognize this one.
Okay.
Most people on here are gamer nerds too. That's it. That's all I
No,
got.
that was cool. Have you played the remake yet?
Dude, it's so sick. It was so long. It took me like 50 hours. I was trying to be as thorough as possible, like going every single nook and cranny, not look anything up, and it took me, I think, like 50 hours of gameplay. And that's only the disc 1.
And well, thanks again. I know you gotta head off. You gotta do a few things, but
yep, I got a chiropractor appointment. 15 minutes.
All right.
Shit back in order.
All right. Everyone say bye to Jason. Ciao, ciao.